Like the camera's already rolling, so this will probably be part of it.
Oh, whatever.
I'm sure I've talked about a few. I got a couple things on my fucking phone, but yeah, that's how the system can be fucking broken down. I think it's one of the main things with the system is how they run stuff and they expect you to do and run around in circles for them when all they're doing is handing out pieces of paper and googling shit and saying here.
They could be helpful if you allow it to be helpful. Like, if you make too much money, like for me, when I've went to the city for any help or anything, they're pretty much like, you make too much money, you can't get housing assistance, you can't get anything, pretty much.
Yeah, it's only went up $200 in the past 7 years since $200 it used to be like 500 and something like 8 years ago.
For what? It's
only like for getting OW, yeah. But technically it's not even for but yeah, before I even fucking. But anyways, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Real Feal podcast. Welcome to episode 3. This is my guest. I know we've just been rambling, but I'm keeping that in there because, again, it's the Real Feal, and I'm still going to continue on. But again, I'm going to welcome you, Matt. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I don't think I've ever known how to pronounce your last name.
Kruger, bud.
I would say, I would be like Kruger, right? So that's how I would be like, that's why I don't want to say anything but yes, this is a long, again, I haven't talked to him for years, but we were playing pool. I was playing in a league and he came up and I saw him again and here we are chatting and he wanted to come on the pod. So this is my guest, Matt. No. And welcome Matt. Show him some love. Just here to talk about life and just his life and where, what he's been doing, and I'm sure everything that he says someone at least maybe will relate to. But to continue with with the system type. I don't know if you've ever been on the system at all or been with OW. At all, any time in your life?
Not OW.
Ontario Works, people, if nobody knows what that is.
Yeah, I've never been on OW. I have friends and people in my life that have been on OW. And, was that the other one? Disability.
Oh, disability. Yeah. That one's changed too.
It could all be a struggle getting approved for it. It could all be a struggle just dealing with it in general.
So just never in your life that you've never said, hey, I'm going to go to OW and use them.
No. Their system. I've done EI when I was off with my kids, so when they were born. Mm-hmm. I took 6 months off with my daughter. I took 4 months off with my son when I was working at Procter & Gamble back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I remember you worked there. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So I took half the time. My ex-wife took half the time, and I got to spend time with both my kids off the beginning, which was amazing.
So the system was never really part except for EI and stuff like that.
Right. Like, I technically could be collecting disability because I have ankylosing spondylitis.
Yeah. That's, again, that one's changed too because I remember when it was like, well, I think you get like $100 more. But back then it was, you went to a doctor, said, hey, I have this, and they like sign it over. But I think there's a bigger process, isn't it now?
Yeah, like you have to be diagnosed with it. You have to go through
testing.
You have to go through a specialist. Specialist
more testing.
It tracks it, lets you know what you should be on.
Yeah, it's a bigger process.
They wanted to put me on a whole bunch of different experimental biologicals and steroids and stuff like that. And when I got diagnosed about 15 years ago, I tried some of it. The reactions to it weren't positive whatsoever. They were all negative. So I tried to do it the past 10, 15 years natural. I'm not perfect in any ways. I still smoke and stuff.
Yeah. But medication wasn't really the...
No, medication wasn't my way. I changed to a lot of natural ways, like natural foods, like fresh fruits, vegetables,
Yeah, the naturalist way.
meats. Tried to eliminate a lot of.
Well, look where all the medications got most of the people, right? It's put them in fucking spots where they're either no longer fucking here, literally, or they're just no longer here.
Well,
mentally.
there's that, and I find the medication just causes way too many more side effects. Going natural has cured a lot of the stuff that was bothering me, but also being active, losing over 100 pounds.
So no Ritalin, you didn't go on any Ritalin or anything? None of that, eh?
I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid. My mom just took us off of sugar, didn't allow us to have sugar.
As 4 years old, right? I'm assuming it's 4 and 5 where you first got diagnosed.
Yeah, of course.
See, that's when both basically... Fuck, it's crazy, man. That's... Oh, man. I was looking at my documents years ago, and I tried to dig deep to see where I actually got, like, told when I was hyperactive and how I am, and it was 4 or 5. And I go, how the fuck is that? Like,
we
how?
were kids being kids without technology nowadays.
And yeah, man, it just never made sense to me. And I said, I was like, more like, I smiled, I laughed because this is years later. But I also said to my mom, I go, what the fuck, right? Like, what the hell did you? But at 16, I did this for years, and it changed over years, the Ritalin. Because when I was doing it, but when right up at 16, I remember higher doses, or I got back on it, as they would say, getting back on my fucking DOC, drug of choice, and it was Ritalin, because my mom couldn't control my ass. But anyways, I went to high school and I did my work. I took the pill and I did my work, and this was a math class. I fucking hate math. I couldn't do math. Hated my teacher. Hated it all. Never did my work. But then I took this pill and I did my work. And I go, what the fuck? I did this essay thing, and I got home. As soon as I walked in the door, Mom was like, hey, how's it going? And I walked right to the counter. I grabbed my pills. I opened up the thing, and I went to the garbage. She goes, what are you doing? I said, never again. She goes, oh, I guess, that's your choice. You're 16, blah, 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 right? Whatever.
You didn't like that? It allowed you to focus?
Yeah, so then she goes, why don't you want them, right? And I said, because it made me work. And she goes, that's what it's supposed to do. And I said, no, but it made me work. And I know probably some may understand that it made me work in a certain way that isn't who I am today. Right? Like, it made me, like, I would feel if I would be a doctor at this point, if I actually stuck with the medication.
And that's a bad thing?
No, but, like, it's the point wherever the universe has led me. You know what I mean?
It
like,
just felt unnatural to you?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That's exactly basically. It felt unnatural. It just didn't feel right. I was like so zoned in, and it was just the comedy of it where Mom was like, why? And I was like, because it worked. It's because it worked. That's why I didn't do it.
but don't you think it's sort of like the way when you get a new prescription of eyeglasses, at first it's very odd and you need to adjust.
That's not internal.
Well, essentially it is. Like, you take that drug a little bit, it feels unnatural at first, and then it eventually becomes natural, and now you can focus, and now you're a doctor.
Now I'm a fucking doctor. I know, right? I mean, it's a weird, it's an interesting conversation that I've talked about many times when people are brought up. Okay, fine. The video I saw the other day, this girl she has ADD, and she was doing an experiment and whatever, and she took her pill, and she goes, I don't know, I'm going to tell you guys what this one feels like. And I don't know if it was called Ritalin, right? So she did the process through her video. She was doing comedy through it. She's a comedy person. But point is that throughout her time, as it was kicking in, it was like I did, like, it was, you start yawning, right? And you start feeling tired, because that's when it starts to feel relaxed and starts to kick in. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's affecting her different. It's not going to, whatever. This, in the end, she's going to be like, oh, haha, it doesn't work, right? That's what I'm thinking. No, it went from here to right up. And then the first thing she goes, oh my God, guys, like, this works. Like, I don't think anything anymore. I just sat there, and then I got emotional because I can't think of it. And when I looked at that, I go, because you're fucking high, right? The way her mood and the way she was. And I go, okay, now take that for the next 10 years. A, you're not going to feel that same thing. B, you might even feel different than what you're feeling now, right? This is not even opinion. This is my experience from taking this type of stuff and where it's changed from Ritalin to meth, right? Like basically, right? But anyways, I just said in the end, I'm like, okay, I'm watching the process and I'm like, she's high right now. Like she's like high in a sense where she's not like, I don't know. She's better. She's better than what she was. Mm-hmm. Right, but you can tell that she's like you know. There's a high feeling. I don't know if that's makes sense.
Any difference from baseline is a high or a down, right? Like if you take a coffee and your baseline, like you wake up, your baseline's here. You take a coffee, like you're essentially taking a high, right? Like
that's true.
You meditate, you bring yourself back down to a base level, like.
But I think I'm more
depends on what you're using, right?
Right. So I think nowadays, I'm more aware. I guess that would make sense for the pill because I was just going to say I'm more aware of what it's doing to me. Mm-hmm. So I can use it to a certain advantage.
So you were preconditioned as a kid, essentially, to take that pill to control yourself.
Right. And bro, again, you wouldn't admit, I don't feel half the things I did. I wouldn't have happened, right? I can't say that I wouldn't have went to drugs. I could have went to deeper drugs. I could have started cooking Ritalin. I could have started. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody is an addict in their own way. You could be everybody's an addict. Like there's good addictions and there's bad addictions. Like I have very healthy habits and I have bad habits. Mm-hmm. It's all about controlling them and being able to choose the good ones over the bad. Like when I was addicted to coke and all that stuff in the past, in order to get over that, I had to choose different healthier paths to be able to get by. It wasn't easy off the beginning. You have to start small. Like when I did my fitness, I had to start hiking and walking with my kids all the time, and then from there we started playing sports.
It's like together. A new addiction, but it's a good addiction,
right? You're just giving yourself a new habit. That's it. Whenever you're replacing a bad one, always replace it with a good one. And the same thing with thinking. Whenever you're thinking negative, try to think of a positive whenever you're thinking negative. Like,
we always say that, right? How do you think, in your sense or your thoughts of how do you think you get there?
Get
to that spot, to those feelings, to like I want to feel talking this way or like being this way. How do you get there? Like how would you think you would get there?
Well, a lot of it came through therapy in the past and being able to recognize when I was in those negative states to catch it and go stop. And
so catching it,
yeah,
right. So that's basically
realizing you're realizing
it would be
catching the emotion you're in, and then realizing that emotion that you're feeling, and you have the control to stop it.
Absolutely, generally. That's basically
it's. Believe me, it's not easy. I still have trouble on a continuous control on it, but it's easier now.
Right, easier. So do you think that comes with the balance afterwards, knowing how to balance it? Do you feel that it comes from that?
Well, removing yourself from negative situations helps, but it's not going to fully solve it. Putting yourself in the same situations as the past, but controlling it in new ways. Like I've been around drugs pretty much all my life. I didn't try it until I was like in so much pain and just wanting to get out of everything. Those are excuses, but that's the harsh reality of the past.
Well, yeah, especially if you're so deep in it. So it's like, I mean, I guess it's our choices too, but from my experience, it is like, it's a sickness too, and you're mentally sick. Like, and it's not to a sense where you're sick. I don't know how you feel about that, but you are sick in a sense, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you do feel, you're sick in the mind. It's a mind thing where because
you're looking for something.
Can be looked at so many. Yeah, for sure.
And I think everybody is in a sort of way. If you found something, that's what makes you happy, right? And if you haven't found it, you're looking for it. So like when you're a kid coming into your teenage or adult years and you're being surrounded by different people all the time, that's how you get introduced to drugs. That's and then from there you make your choices.
I'm thinking it's okay, and again,
experimenting's okay. We're told experimenting's okay, but like when you experiment, you're making a choice.
Yeah.
It's like doing that bad thing that you know you shouldn't be doing every day, and you make that choice. Like, it's going to eventually stem into something.
You don't have the at the time. For me, it was that way, or just me and my music at the time. Because even my friend at the time, he was trying not pushing on me, but he'd always talk about how he partied and he did cocaine and stuff like that. And I had to do that myself. I didn't have someone else to run. I just knew my friends and my family at the time. I didn't have other peers and shit to fucking run to. I didn't understand it. Right. So
I hear it.
It was me, music, and then or fucking listen to what he's saying and try this lifestyle over here, right? And then eventually it got to the point where I did the drug, but it was my choice at the time to be like, okay, I'm gonna try it, right?
You also put yourself in those situations. You also had a choice to put yourself in other situations. And that's sort of what I'm trying to say.
But some people don't have. So that's right. And then what I was trying to say is that some people don't have
the other
out, right? They only have this.
The environment.
Now, mine was hard, I feel, because it was just me and my music or whatever I was doing. It was just me and that. It wasn't even a person or a thing.
But your music was your outlet.
That was it. But it was a hard thing to do because it was a doubt at the same time coming from the same people, right? You know what I mean? So it was.
But you seem pretty good. Like, from what I've seen, you're pretty good at like not worrying too much about what other people think, but that more comes with all the
battle.
shit you've been through, right?
So I think I'm trying to say it's been that battle where I know, and it's never been. Now it's like I know people to talk to and peers and stuff, so it's a little easier, right? Because I didn't know how to balance it. But then coming up again, I didn't have anything else except for those two things. Care about what my parents thought. Wasn't my parents at the time. It was fucking, I was trying to stay away from that shit. So yeah, it was hard because it was full of doubts. It was full of, you can't do this. So it was like, what the fuck do I do? You know,
it's
what
hard
I mean?
when we do that to ourselves every day. I
said, fuck it, bro. It was my 23rd birthday. I'm like, bro, just give me cocaine. He's like, are you sure? I said, yeah, bro, 23rd birthday. Let's do it. Ever since that day, boom, I was by myself in my place writing music for a couple of years after that because I was so hyped about it, and then drugs just fucking took it. So then it was that battle, music, drugs, friends, this, music, drugs, bars, fucking, it was fucking crazy, man. Like, I didn't mean to run off with that like that way, but so you had addiction, it was coke like at the time, or just not even that, but what was like years, or was it for a short amount of time?
For a good 10 years, I was coke, oxys, perks. It originally started with like pain medication because of my disability and everything. I was in a lot of pain. Still I'm in a decent amount of pain nowadays, but it's more because I continuously stretch and work out. And it's like growing pains and good pains instead of consistently being aching and overweight. Like, just treating my body like a garbage bin. Nowadays,
stretching is so fucking good for your body, man.
Well, nowadays, a few friends of mine over years have told me that your body's more sort of a temple, and like you want to feed it like you feed a car gas. If you're supposed to be taking diesel in that car, take diesel. If you're supposed to be taking like premium gas in the car, put premium gas in that car.
Yeah,
right?
put in your body what your body's asking for. Right.
So feed it properly insteid of treating it like a garbage bin.
Yeah. So when the addiction? You said it for 10 years. So like when did that start? Your 20s? Did that start with Liquid Lounge days? Was that around Liquid Lounge? Liquid Lounge days. If nobody knows, Liquid Lounge is a small town bar that we have or had for years in this town, and he was our bouncer type, hang around, good friend, fucking man. But was that where it really? That would have been your 22, right?
I was partying there then. I was just drinking at that time. It didn't really stem from there. It stemmed from my friendship group.
Right.
I was hanging around with because I hung around with a lot of people who did drugs. And it just got to one point we were out partying one night, and it was like you know what? Fuck, I've been cutting this shit up for you guys for like a few years now. I've never really tried this. I'm like, you guys seem to have a good time all the time. I don't really need it. Why not give it a try? And
that's
then
right. That's
one thing led to another. It was a party drug on the weekend every now and then to every week to like all.
Then it came to a Monday, right?
Oh man, it was all the time. And then when you were when I was drowning in my sorrows and my negativity and spiraling out of control, it just got worse until one night it took too many clozapam trying to get away from all my feelings and too much drugs. And
numbing out more from the hypeness that you were doing.
So much booze. And I used to use booze as a crutch and use it as an excuse. Saying,
so this was middle of your 20s?
I was in my drugs.
That was middle of 20s? Because you're saying you're drinking
in my 20s to the 30s. It got like in my mid 30s. That's when it got really bad when I got divorced. And I was trying to correct my life, but it wasn't helping. Like I needed to sort of hit the low to get back up, and I did, and I have been. I've been clean for quite some time. I have like stumbled, like tried it here and there about 3 times. Once was to see if I could do it and not do it again. And then 2 other times I was just out having a good time and I was like, screw it.
Yeah, to see if I can do it again.
Right. And it's not a good thing and I don't plan on doing it again. But at least I know I could control it. It was the same thing with cigarettes. I quit for, I want to say just over 2 years. And then about like 8 months ago, life got really hard again, and I stepped
so for 10 years up and down, you were doing drugs, and more like drugs and less drinking, or drinking, but you were doing drugs for about 10 years.
But even in my family life, like trying to do it outside of the family, it was just horrible, dude. I was not doing myself any favors. I was not doing my family any favors back then.
It's a crazy battle when it's for that long too. And you hear people. I know that addiction is for people go through it for 2 years and a year and stuff.
You get very selfish, and you take a lot of things for granted. Just looking for a feeling, just trying to get a feeling back, and it's all. And then once you get that feeling, you feel even worse until you recover, and then you want that. It's a horrible cycle.
Yeah, those were the times where I thought I was going to quit, and I don't know how many times I can count how many times I've said that to try to quit, where I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing it, and then 3 days later you feel better and you do it. I've lost count how many times I've done that. To actually get clean, it's probably about maybe 5 or 6, but the other ones to be like, oh, I feel like shit for 2 or 3 days, like I'm done, I'm not going to touch it again. I can't count how many times I fucking probably have said that, right? And I'm sure for a lot of people, there's many people that have said like, oh, I'm not going to do it again, I'm not going to drink again, that line did that did that, but then 2 days later you feel better, that problem comes back, that situation comes back, whatever it is, you've never dealt with it yet, so now you're like, what the fuck do I do, because you haven't figured it out in that time period. But so
that's where counseling and therapy and stuff like that that I've done in the past, support from friends or
the right
even people who have been through it. Like I've listened to podcasts, I have friends that have been through it now, and they give you different ways that they deal with it in themselves. It may not work for you. You try new things every day. Like meditation, I've been trying it for freaking years now. Am I great at it? No. I still try it every now and then, right?
It works. When it works, it works, right? Like when you do it properly.
Hiking,
you've lost weight over time too, right? In the past like few years. So when did you actually stop doing? When was the day? You said 10 years you did it for. It was in between your 20s and 30s. So when did you stop? When was the day you were like, do you remember the date, or do you just remember the time? Or
it was a time frame. It was a New Year's about 5-6 years back. I looked at the drug. I was about 4 months going, I'm gonna quit. And then it was a New Year's. I bought a bag, and I was like, this is my last bag. I'm done. I'm like, you know what? And I spent that New Year's by myself, just drinking by myself, playing games. Yeah.
It's like you knew it was your last out, right, or something, right? Like you knew.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like saying goodbye to an old friend in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just the emotional need sort of just got released, and I didn't need to look for it anymore.
Yeah, your body was sick of it too. Probably your body
Yeah.
was telling you
Yeah.
too. It wasn't even just your, and
Right.
your knew, your body knew it. But again, those, how many have you? Again, back to the thing. How many of those have you had? Right, of those type. Okay, this is the last
Occasions, right?
right, and
They
like that one
usually
felt
only
different.
last a few days,
Right.
right, to a week. Like
But this one felt different.
right. This one just I knew. I'm like, you know what? Like it's time to do better for yourself. It's time to do better for your kids. It's time to do better for everybody in
And
general.
the
And
work
your
comes
family.
in, man. The work comes in after that, and that's a time work, and that's where people fall back, is because the work comes in, and then you think you're on this thing because you're on such a high, a new high, that you're so up there, and then all of a sudden that starts to fade, right? And I call it the boulder starts to come back down. Now you got to figure out, you're pushing it back up, and then you got to realize, oh shit, this is real. Like this is, that's where most of the people start to fall backwards. What did you do in those moments when you knew you were gonna, when you felt in the first few months that you were like, oh no, like this is fucking.
I found new ways. I gave myself new goals.
You just kept finding new shit.
Well, I gave myself new goals.
I
new things to.
I preach that all the
like,
time. Man.
I started small in that aspect too. Like my house wasn't really in order. My life wasn't in order. So I started making my bed every day, making sure I was showering every day because I was depressed. Sometimes I would sleep 12, 18 hours on my days off, and I didn't have my kids. I would just
rest it out.
Yeah, like it was so bad. So you would have I would have to force myself, go, okay, write a list down, do these little tasks, and those little things feel good. And then building like little goals in my fitness, that helped, knowing that it was hard, going to take time, but if I stayed consistent, I knew something would change and good things would come.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right there, consistently, and knowing that if things will change, but the action comes with it. But when you first you didn't at the start, there was no so going into it, because you mentioned about you just kept making goals. Going into it, you already knew that you had these goals. They just weren't being they weren't being executed. So when this time was coming, my experience was you already had them, but this time your body was telling you what was happening, your mind was telling you, your heart was telling you, and they were actually happening. That's what I think made you. That's my experience and feeling. That's what made, because you already had it going into it. You already had these goals, right?
Correct. A lot of my past, I would sit there and I would say I was going to do these things, and you would just get drawn back to the past, like I said, looking for that emotional attachment. So actually changing and actually taking action and doing,
that's what got you. That's what I preach, man.
But telling yourself to stop and recognizing when you're in those bad states, or triggering yourself into those bad states and changing them into a healthy thing has drastically changed my life.
And find the goal. The goals can be anything, even starting with your apartment, your house, your car, whatever that one or 6 things that you want to get done, you've always wanted to, and you keep holding it off. Start off with the first one, because you'll be surprised that it's going to lead to the first and second one. Now you may not do it perfectly, you may not do that first thing the next day, but also try another one.
You may not get all your tasks
not even
done.
all of
you're
them,
still getting something
but you're still
done. You're doing better than the day before.
100%. Yeah. So
and if you're not life is like this, it has its up and downs. One day you're at level 3, the next day you're at -4, and then the next day you're at 8.
And that's where, and that's where the balance comes in. That's where, not even just the balance. What's the other word I'm looking for? Knowing it's only temporary for whatever you're feeling, but you have to take in that feeling. It's the hardest thing that I had to do. And I know a lot of people, it's hard for them, but really, truly sitting back into, I said it to somebody one time. I said, well, there's sometimes where when my phone's charging, I take advantage of it. And I set it aside and I just sit there like this. And they said, well, it's not good to sit in your own thoughts. But then I had to explain it different. I go, I'm not sitting in where I'm stressing. I'm like, oh my God, right? I'm sitting in my own thoughts. Why am I feeling this way? Why did I feel like that at that moment in that time? Right. So I'm like taking it in.
Yeah.
That's a good, so I explained it that way. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, so you're really trying to take in your feelings. And he goes, so you're recognizing. I said, that's the word. You're sitting in your recognition of why you're feeling a certain way. And especially I take that moment, I tried it, even if it's for 20 minutes. And now I don't even notice that I do it because my body is used to it. I've been doing it for 6 months ever since the relationship thing. I really, truly sat back and I
trying to figure out why you're feeling this way. What's putting you in that state.
And it's hard as fuck, man. And I'm going to fuck up. But then I'm learning in we call it born again, in my spiritual awakening that I'm going through is that I have to go through this and I'm going to question those things. Why am I questioning those things? Because those things are disappearing from my life.
So do you find it difficult, like, because you're essentially putting aside your ego and you're analyzing it, right?
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
Because you wanna stand up and do what you want to do about it, and you want to say something, and you want to, but finding a different way to respond, you be surprised of what your responses are going to get. Sometimes you're not going to get one, and that's a good thing because you say what you had to say and nobody's responding. You know what I mean? Whatever the response is back to you, right?
Well,
but
it may not be what you want.
It's fucking, oh yeah, it's hard, man. And even with yeah, man, I'm just thinking because it goes deep, because it is hard. It's hard to recognize it and sit in those feelings, because when I did get out of the relationship, I used to do the same thing, and I trickle with talking with, I've talked to a girl or whatever, but I've never pursued it how I used to, where it used to be like 2 months month girl, or not even just with one, just talking to one right away, because that's what she did. It's long story short, that's what instantly, right? And then you're not sitting back, and that just proves the point what the whole relationship was and whatever it was. Right. But I said to myself, no, I'm not trying to prove a point to someone that I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to sit back in my feelings, cry.
So you're not ruminating over the situation. You're looking at why you feel the way you're feeling in that situation, and how you may have caused it, or how that,
or I may have received it.
Right. Okay.
Both ends. Oh yeah, man, for sure. And then because you had to, because in the end, you're always going to think of whatever happened, and it's always going to be on you. Because if you did go through those type of, I hate the word narcissistic, a narc as they call them, or a narcissist or whatever. I hate using, but I am, because I have the traits of not like
right.
Everybody
has narcissistic traits,
right?
If you are selfish towards yourself and you're putting,
but then there's two different personalities.
Right. There's people who don't realize it, that they do it,
right? And and it's funny because in the end they go, "What the fuck just happened?" Right? And we do that. But me, what I was just talking about is that I actually sit in it and I go, oh my God, why did I just do that? Why did I feel that way? I take I'm doing that now. Now, those type of people that have the two split, again, no judgment, no criticizing to anybody, because this is what my brand's about. It's trying to help and fix. I'm realizing what I went through. But that type is like, they don't even notice it, man. And that's what's going to make you think different, for sure. I don't know where I was going with it, but like
ruminating over things.
So taking it in and understanding, and I had to do that back and forth, right? And and in my mind, and for months, I didn't even notice 5 months went by, bro. Like, didn't even notice it. And I go, did I have to go through that? What the fuck just happened, right? Like, now it's 6 months.
No, you have control over everything. My ex used to say this to me when the divorce was happening. Like, you can make yourself happy. I'm like, okay, you're my partner. It used to frustrate me and piss me off. I'm like, you're my partner. Like, But she's right. She was right. Like you can only control your feelings. Like you have
Mm-hmm.
your own emotional attachment to the words that are being said. Like you have all the control to stop those feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the editor.
Now, is it easy? No,
no, because you're in a
no, because you're attached to they're your feelings. Like you're like no, I'm right. This is how I'm feeling.
That's how, as they would call it in the moment. They would call it gaslighting and trauma bonding, right? Because you're like fighting. You're like, but there's no like I feel. This is how I'm feeling, and you know that it's true. And then you got the other person saying, "Oh, you're overthinking it, or you're crazy, or saying whatever word they want to choose." But I feel this way, like you're saying. I feel, and you can only control that as.
But as you were saying earlier, sitting back and like listening and
to yourself,
and like analyzing and
from both aspects, from both
right
sides.
just allows you to look at it different, and it may not be easy. It may not be able. You may not be able to get out of that emotion right away, but it allows you to get away from it.
No, but when you do get out of it, you're gonna go back to that and laugh at it, because I did.
Right?
I did. I'm telling you, man. I look back at the first 2 months and I go, "Where did I even set my phone? Was I on my phone?" Like, I just think back and I giggle and I laugh at it and I go, "What the fuck? I fucking got through that shit. Fuck that." You know what I mean? But there's people that are not here today because they didn't get through that, right? And they couldn't handle those moments. But so that's why I'm here, y'all, and that's why I'm showing, and that's why he is, or other people are showing that you can make it through that.
So what do you do when you get into the itch, like I need a drink, or just do you get those feelings anymore?
Oh yeah,
of course.
Yeah, but they're not. I can't say they're not as bad, because I literally had one last week, 3 days ago. Right. I think it was 3 days ago. Actually, all I could smell was cocaine.
Right? You get those walks, everyone, and you're like,
because it's up here. What's that smell? It's up here, and you're going to. That's the rest of your life. And my ex understood it. There was some good traits about her, but then she understood like fuck, you know what I mean? Like, are you okay? Like, I would say that, like, I smell coke. She'd go, whoa, like, are you okay? Like, do we need to leave this? Like,
that's good. That's
right.
That's nice.
And there was some good, like, right. I don't understand why now, but I'm saying there was some good things so that I think were true and were actually real, if that makes sense, because it comes back to like, was my relationship real? But the point is, she had good traits. I'm trying not to give negative. No negatives, Kevin. Positive. There was some good traits where there was I realized those things, and they were like, "Oh, how are you feeling? Like, what is it? Like, you know what I mean?" Oh yeah, for sure. So the booze, back to the booze, is. I don't know what I really. To think back to last week, I went. No, bro, you have sweaters coming next week. Oh, look at your cat there, man. He could die tomorrow.
So realizing your priorities helps you
what's there, and actually and it makes me like even thinking about it just like emotional, because it's true that you really, if you truly think about those things for a minute. But this was a good question. That's what I would do. I would try to think about those really and realize what's around me, even though there's a little bit of those negatives and traumas around me still, right, that I live with and stuff. I try to really focus on those things.
Do you still drink, or do you not?
No. And then I go, and then the second thing is I go, okay, I drink now, I feel like shit tomorrow, I regret tomorrow. I always say that to myself. And then the third thing I think, well, I don't give a fuck what they think, right? Like, it's a weird, I don't give a fuck what anybody think. I could drink now. But then again, there's that fourth thought where I go, I'm like, it's a battle with myself. Does this make sense? So it's a thought process of where I'm thinking of where I'm going to go. No, like, why do I feel this way? It comes back to that, setting the phone down. Why do I feel this way? Why do I want this drink right now? Right? You know what I mean? Why do I feel this way? And then, so that, what was I going to fucking ask about? Oh fuck, I forget what I was gonna ask, but I forget, but it was, I know it will come back to me. But yeah, just, I don't know, man. And with the drugs, man, I don't know how you feel, but do you get the same thing? Like, you smell it once in a while, or like...
no, every once in a while I'll be like that was coke. Like, I don't know where that came. Did you smell that? No.
Okay, people were like, no, and I'm like, yeah, man.
Okay, well, it must have been just me. I guess I got the itch at that moment. Like,
so paint thinner, okay, and gasoline sometimes. Because mine came from, I know, but it's bad because it comes from mine came from the boat, man. And near the end, mine came directly from fucking Lake Erie and Lake Ontario boat. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I don't obviously go to. Yeah. But it was gasoline or paint thinner. That's how they fucking. But so, anyways, every time I would remember sitting in a room playing poker with a bunch of people, and I just kept saying most of the night, "Who's painting upstairs, bro?" And no, it wasn't like an instant shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. It was like they look at me weird for the whole night, bro. Almost the whole fucking night. And when I went upstairs, knowing what was upstairs, everybody was just sitting there normal, and it's still the ragged out fucking place, and nobody's doing anything.
Wow.
And I still said, I smell paint thinner. Who the fuck is painting upstairs? And in the end, the next day, I said it, and I said, I go, so okay. And I said it to myself. I go, nobody's painting right now, right? And I go, no fucking way. And I go, what the fuck? It was the coke, man. So now I smell paint thinner. I get the feeling.
But I do realize when I do smell it, I'm like, oh, okay. So like that's just me sort of wanting it at that time and me going, no. Like I do.
Do you think that's the moment when you were getting that feeling, or is it just you think so?
I think it's just
that's interesting.
Because I don't tend to do it on my own. It's usually when I'm out about to hang out with people or something like that. I get it's not really like something, but I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, it's not really. Well, I mean, I get what you're saying because it's interesting that you feel that in that sense. Me, it isn't. It's like I was looking out the fucking window the other day and all I can taste was alcohol. And I'm not even thinking of alcohol.
Like you're salivating and it tastes like alcohol.
Yeah, man, for sure. And then I was sitting there at the computer and I smelled something and I smelled fucking cocaine. But I wasn't sitting there going, I can't wait to do fucking cocaine. Or I'm not sitting there thinking like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not sitting there. And I even get those spurts. I can say to myself, I said it to myself in the bathroom the other day. I said, I don't fucking need that shit. I'll never touch it again. I'll never go near it. But then the second thought goes, okay, you know that, but why do you keep thinking it's always going to be there? The thought, the feeling to go, oh, because that was the go-to when all these feelings
I sort of say to myself, I never want to be that person again.
Yeah, right, but then cocaine can come into the new person.
100%.
Every new place,
you can become a new person
and do it differently, bro.
Same environment, 100%.
And you can still do it. 100%. Every new place I got, it was my favorite time to do drugs.
Right.
Every new apartment, every new place, every new hotel or whatever where I got, I loved that new spot because I loved fucking that, you know. So I was always afraid of new. I was always afraid. It wasn't the downs. I did drugs because that's what got me through recovery. Was the down. Being depressed about it and trying to come up with my music. It wasn't always being happy because every time I got happy and I was celebrating, I wanted to do drugs. Weird, eh? My celebrations were when I wanted to do cocaine, not my downs. Isn't that weird?
Your priorities and the way you want to control yourself has changed. You no longer want that.
That makes sense.
Anymore. Priorities at least in my eyes. Like,
yeah, that's why I don't think I know, because there's that one side says I know you're not going to, but then that other side is like,
oh, you always can.
But do you remember when you did this on when you were doing it?
Right.
Do you remember here? Let's remind you. Let's throw some things at you, because mine was cocaine and poker, or cocaine, poker, and porn. Like I was addicted, and to this day, like it's like once in a while, and I'm not addicted to it because it would be a daily thing and stuff like that. But there's that little spurt where you put it on for that one little, you know, that night sesh, right?
Okay.
But before it was, as soon as I got drugs in my hand, it was back, take the hit. No, I'm just gonna chill this time. I'm gonna do this on cocaine or crack. As soon as I take the hit or do the line, directly to the laptop. Right on the fucking porn, live fucking porn. I'd watch live porn from the time I did it till the time I was done. And I'd go on poker once in a while. And that was my thing. It wasn't go out and party. It wasn't go out. I was a selfish addict. That's the worst time. But that was me. I was cocaine, porn. And it was, that was me.
usually one addiction stems into other addictions, like
Boredom
sexual
at home.
addiction.
What are you gonna do? What else you have now? You have the
Either
internet.
that or going out and banging a whole bunch of different chicks or something. Like it's
But the point comes from from back in the past, how I was raised as a child and stuff, like how whatever I was grown, how I was raised, not just from my parents, but in my lifestyle, how I was raised, what led to like why I was so addicted to porn and stuff at the time, right? And now it's faded 20 times fucking better than ever before, right? But yeah, that was me. I don't know about what yours was. Partying, right? You just went out and partied, or you did it at home most of the time?
I tried not to do it at home. If I did do it at home back in the day, it was more to get to a baseline to be able to be active enough, because sometimes I would drain myself out. Well, like busting your ass working 10 to 16 hours a day, plus partying, plus doing family life. It all, like, you're sad. You're living multiple lives, but like when you really think about it, people live multiple lives on a daily basis. Like I have my business personality, I have my friendship personality, I have my, like, we create these avatars of ourselves and we have to present them in certain situations, right? Like you only know me based on what I present to you.
Yeah,
so
for
you've
sure.
created that avatar based on that, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of people have their hidden lifestyles, right?
It's all in what I want to show you, right? Like, I feel bad, like super bad in the past. I've drowned in that pain a lot in the past.
Yeah.
I just choose to be a better person nowadays, and in that stems with oh shit, I moved that.
No, you're good. I think you're good. You're good.
In that it stems into a lot of healthier habits, but it's like, it's not easy. It does not happen overnight.
What do you think your biggest fallback was out of, like, let's go from, we obviously don't go way back because life is life for the past, how old, you're in your, you're 39 or 40,
41.
41. Okay, well then fuck, you're not, I'm 39. So when you were, it was when Liquid Lounge days, those, so we were fucking close to the same age. I didn't even know, bro. You felt like a fucking, like, to me back then, like you were a fucking giant to me. You were the bouncer, so you were like the big guy to me, right? So back then I thought you were like 40, right? Like, you know what I mean? But that's how you feel when you're 19, 18 coming up, right? When
You're
you
only
see
a few
like
years
that.
younger.
Now I look at you and I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd Matt go? What the fuck? Right? But back then, so past that part where fuck, what was your biggest setback, or what do you think your biggest setback was, and what did you do? I know you've mentioned a few things, right?
But there was a few deaths in my family.
Let me ask it this way.
Changes in life.
So sorry. Let me ask it this way. So what do you think your what has been the hardest one, right? Your hardest setback, and what did you do to get out of it? Like, out of all the setbacks, right, you've had and all that, in that time period when you were starting to fall off and whatever, what do you think the hardest one was, and what did you do to maintain to get out of it?
With addiction or life?
Just life, and if you want to name with addiction, what do you think your hardest one was? The hardest, deepest?
Well, I know what it is, and that's not seeing my kids and the whole court battle and everything. But to be honest, I really don't want to overly discuss too much about that.
No, you don't have to, man. Right? No, you definitely.
I don't want to put my ex-wife.
No. So basically, like, just like family stuff or whatever, just relationships, I guess, if you want to veer around.
My grandfather passing away was a big moment in my life. He was, although I didn't see him every day, he was like a second father to me. Getting divorced or separated then divorced was another one that was not easy. Like, I always thought of marriage as the be all to end all. Like, you get in a relationship, you can fix anything. But like, that was tough to overcome.
That was
The realization that I took a lot of things for granted, and having to sit with that was not easy. Overcoming all that stuff has been a battle. Still dealing with
and that was in between with addiction too, right? Like that was all in the same kind of like.
Well,
right?
addiction was a big part of why all the like I take full responsibility because of that addiction and the excuses I was giving back then is the direct result of that situation. But at the same time,
I'd say how you got out. I would ask how you got out of like the relationship type thing. But I know in this video, if people are listening, that you talked about that situation where you are today and how you've gotten into it, because in your relationship type deal, it kind of veered into the addiction thing, right? And then the addiction thing,
well,
kind
no,
of like where
I was in the addiction. I was like a lot of it started with painkillers and everything, and trying to be able to get through the day and everything. And then with long hours and everything, I took on my party drug onto a lifeline habit because I knew it would give me more energy. And now that's just a lot of excuses, but those are the facts of what I did.
Yeah.
Right. Like I can't change what I did, but I can change what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Your response to it now. Right. I mean, yeah, for sure.
That's all anybody can do. Any addict, negative addict in aspects can do is just change themselves for the better.
Okay. So let me ask this then. So what do you, for the people that are not like us, that aren't in it, meaning like
everybody's
the ones
like us, just not in the stage,
meaning like the ones that are on the street right now, right?
Correct.
Okay,
so
the ones that are really they're like this way. What do you think that should be done? What do you think that can be done? What do you think your first thought would be like to be like, I know it's a process, so it's hard to be like, hey, well, this.
Some think it's a self-realization of yourself, and until you get to that, there's no way out.
To get into that, yeah. Okay, sorry, yeah, go on, yeah.
But in that, you could kill yourself by allowing it, right? So I believe there should be people out there trying to help these people a lot more than what they are. There is a lot, like I know people who work at methadone clinics. I know people who work at the homeless places, Rosewood, like all these areas that try to do stuff. But as soon as they're out of it's out of their control, and it is super sad to see.
They can only do what the system is telling them to do in a certain sense.
I don't know how you could control. What I could say is there is people do care.
Just more people. That's basically you're saying. Maybe, that's what we need. More people.
Well, instead of
doing it,
shrugging it off and giving a blind eye to it and just ignoring it, like I do at times, maybe talk to people. Like I'm not talking about the strung out, like people who look harmless or harmful at that time, but maybe someone who's just in that situation that looks decent at that time. I'm talking about me personally, talking to those people and just seeing where they're at, and maybe
conversating,
giving them some personal advice on my end, because they may not have a phone. They may not have an outlet. They may not have a positive aspect in their life.
No, and then the critics would say, this, and it's always the same response they have every single time is, well, there is tons of help. They just got to go to it. And it's like, okay, you're right. There is that building. There is this building. And then you go to those critics and you say, what is in that building? And they say, I don't know. That's my whole point. Right. You don't know what yes, certain things are here. I can't name directly. I've been to the shelters. There's SOAR, which we're trying to get rid of. SOAR is just a broken down. It's bad. I'm not getting deep into it. I was there sleeping.
I like this. I like that system, but I have my own personal reasons why I like that system. I haven't been in that system in that way. So
yeah, so
you have your own personal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like I've been in there, so it's not the workers. Okay, that's my flat out. It's not the workers' fault. It's not the good people that I met in there. It's not them. They're just following protocol and doing whatever.
It's just
the process of how they're doing the system. I don't agree with. It's not that I don't agree with trying to do these certain things or trying to whatever, but
do you have any like ideas of like something they could do better?
Yeah, 100%. But it takes yeah, for 100%. They need funding. They need what it comes down to is that you need them to do something about it, which again, they have these breadcrumbs, right? Which is there, but lifting them up, like you said, going to talk to them, asking them bring every single one of these people in a room and ask them what do you want? What are you looking for? And I've done this multiple times. I've talked to these people many times, and it's hard to keep up because they're in and out of the city, right? But asking them, then I know what they are looking for. They're looking for things to do. Now the critics are going to say, well, no, they need to work, and we need to get them here first, right? Once they're here first, I promise you, once we get them to here, which is now the next step is counseling, having people in these buildings that talk to them, and then having an art room, a music room, having a safe space, different rooms for every single bit of these people are building back.
Giving someone a reason to
become something, because they have no reason right now. Now, if I walk into city council, I've said this multiple times where I talk to them, they're going to be like this. They're going to be like, good idea. It's not going to happen, because if you try it, and now even if I think I've told you don't remember it, when we were walking that one day, I said, even if I had $1 million right now, even if I had $4.5 million or whatever to buy that school that's on Albion, there's like 19 different rooms there, plus a basement, plus a basketball court, but they would just shut it down. If you tried to.
Did you ever feel helpless when you were in your addiction and ever like look for help, but always feel like there was no help there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But I got what I say in my thing. I got lucky because I had my music since I was 23. So when I got into addiction, I had my talents, right?
Right.
But did I have, no, when I was I went through a pandemic.
Like, did you ever like try call a rehab center and them turn around and go, I'm sorry, it'll be like 6 months to 8 months to get you in, or
but it wasn't real counseling.
It'll be like 60 or 80 grand.
Yeah, no, it was showing up to groups and showing up to programs where these people were just getting high right after they're done. I was too. I was going home to get high. It was doing nothing for us. People were coming there for the free cards you were getting. Oh, if you show up 6 more times, you get a gift card to Walmart.
Right.
People are like, fuck yeah. So right? So no, it wasn't doing anything. And to this day, what else are they doing? Nothing. And if someone tell me, if I'm wrong, show me. Please show me.
I'm 100% sure there's something out there, but like
not here, not around this place. And if there is, it costs money.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it isn't going to cost money. You know what we do need? What I want to do is if follow Graceland. I'll try to send you I don't know how much you like looking into stuff, but I'll send you Graceland. Okay. You're allowed to do this. I can get a house right now and start. But you got to go through little twinks of telling the government of health inspections and stuff, who's coming in the house.
Right.
But who says you can't buy a house and make it a rooming house? Right? So now you made it a rooming house, just like every other real estate has, or a person that bought a house, and now you make it a sober living house. Now you have your own programs, and you're allowed to do this. But I don't have the money to buy a house. I want 3 different houses. This starts off the progress, and I want it on the outskirts of fucking Brantford. I don't want it on the outskirts.
I'm sure if you wrote some like sort of like portfolio, I don't know what those.
It takes a proposal. It takes work. So my first aim was to do the building thing because there's tons of it. But now buying these buildings, and now you have to get big inspections, and you have to do like it's a fucking loop. Like it's like a huge thing you got to go around. And then I started looking at Graceland, and I go, wait a minute. Yes, he's probably going through protocols. He's got to go through something maybe with the city. But all he did was fucking buy a house and just allowed people to start fucking coming in. And now he's made it on TikTok and made this huge sober living thing.
No clue what you're talking about.
I'll send it to you.
Is it in Brantford?
So yeah, if anybody wants to know, I'll put the link. Actually, I'll put the link down below. It's called Graceland, and it's a sober living house. And he has this big ass house, and
I think I've heard of it. I'm
right,
not
and
100%
it's a
sure.
sober living house, and people come in and out of this place all the time. He loves people, and he says he'll let you go fall off. He'll also allow you back in the house. Don't get me wrong, people.
Just
It's
don't
not
use inside the house.
yeah, but then they have issues just like everybody else does in a house. They have people that have stole before. Like, it's a weird. I don't know if they're
Sounds
doing
sort
it
of
for
like the
the
Rosewood House or
yeah.
something like that.
So, anyways, a sober living house, and if anybody wants to follow it, it's Graceland for Facebook. I'll put it down below. I'll actually put the YouTube link down below. And it's a sober living house. My whole point is that I want to get the same thing. Now, there's rules, obviously, right? I don't even care if you fall off. I don't care if you make a mistake. You're making a mistake. The rule is you're gone for 2 weeks, right? This is for the bigger program, right? And then it gives them an incentive to go. After maybe so long, they're either going to keep falling down or eventually they're going to be like this, but I like it there. And the only way for me, now again, there's support. So there's a lift up to get you to, there's no just get away from here, right? So does this make sense? I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying, but like,
what else can you do?
Dealing with addicts, whenever you kick them when they're down, it's not usually the best thing for them.
No, but they're also adults too, and we also have to put rules down where now you're
set boundaries.
It's not going to be the Salvation Army where they're like, come on in, we help you, we have worker here, we have a worker here, we have a worker here.
Can't coddle people. People need to start taking control.
I don't care if you go upstairs and do drugs in the fucking bathroom, but we have support down here. No. We need to fucking set the fucking rules where it's harsh love, but showing love. It's very hard to explain right now because I don't have it. All I know is that these people need more than just going to talk to somebody. And you're not going to do it any other way. You can get these people to talk to these people multiple times.
Right? Like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm just talking. I guess I'm talking from experience. I get super like passionate about in that sense because I don't know if I'm saying anything wrong or putting
people. Some of my friends in the past, when I was addicted, they were saying you need to get clean, and like I wasn't ready, or like my ex-wife told me I needed to quit drinking.
But what did you have at the time, though?
What do you mean?
Like, did you have any goals or passions or things that you wanted to do? Dreams?
No, I was more trying to survive. Like, my goals of my life was try to be the best husband and father I could be, while trying to bust my ass and to be the best worker I could. Like, you get into these loops of everyday life, but you're consumed by the drug as well. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to. It's
like you were saying, nothing else to grasp onto, those smaller goals and trying to find new ways.
There's no time because you're not giving yourself any time. And that's with anything, really. Like, you don't even have to be in on a drug. But
no, it's not even about the drug.
You could just not be doing things around your life and just sitting there all day long.
Exactly, man. It's not even about the drug. It's,
it's just, I don't know. I just try to do better things for myself on a daily basis. Mm-hmm.
I know that conversation kind of
went up here, down, over, around, up.
No, but like I took a turn where you asked me a question, and I always said to people, I said, you asked me the right question. I was like, I'm going to fucking take it out, and I'm going to try to talk it, because I've asked so many people have asked me, so why, what do you think? What are you going to do? And I explain it all, right? And then I'd say to them, because I know you get it and I know you understand it, and you've helped these kind of people with the kindness counts and all that stuff. But then I ask other people and I say, why, what are you going to do? And they go like this. So then stop asking, and you know what I mean? Because I know what we can do. Now I need your help. I need your help. I need these people's
Giving
help.
back and volunteering also helps. Feeling good giving to others is.
And there's tons of people that are sitting back right now with a story that I'm not saying that you have to put out in videos or you have to do this, but there is going to become a time where you could use it to a sense. Your story helps the next person, right? 100%. And stuff like this, because again, where conversations do get start going
railing off, and
because there's going to be something that's said where they're like, someone gets, or they're like, oh man, like, oh, But I didn't know anybody thought like that, even though I've always thought there is other humans out there, there is other people, but we always stuck in ourselves and we're like, we're the only one, we're alone. But then you hear something and you go, fuck, that person thinks that way too, right? And,
well, it's always nice to be heard and
this is a good way
validated, essentially,
validated
in your thoughts and your feelings, right?
Being heard in a certain way. I said it in my song that I just wrote in this end of it. I said, these are the ones that have doubts in themselves. You may not think this, but in the distance, someone listens, right? Like, and I said, this is it. In the end, so I said, like,
so they could essentially be someone else or yourself.
No, so someone else is. So I've gone through it. I've been through this. Right. So I wrote this song. I understand how you're feeling. I'm from a distance. You're hearing this song in buttfuck Idaho, right? So it's basically saying that you be surprised if someone listens from a distance. So basically saying that someone relates, like you do too,
but
right?
Couldn't that also be like your subconscious as well? That thing in the distance.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, 100%. For sure. 100%. If you listen to the song, it tells about like there's people out there that can relate, have the same trait, have the same age, sometimes even the same name, right? Like, I love it, yeah. Right. So then it's basically a song about people tell your story, get your shit out there, because someone out there is relating, because there's always someone sitting back thinking, I'm the only one, I'm alone. We all, even with billions of people in this world, bro, there's people that are to this day sitting back going, I'm the only one that feels this way right now. So that song is basically saying, in the end of the song, it was a good message saying, this is for the people that doubt themselves. You may not think this, but in the distance someone listens, and this is it. So this song it's hard to, it's weird as a, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but like I noticed that the other day and I go, oh fuck, that makes sense why I wrote it. But yeah, I mean, fuck, this turned into my interview, eh?
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. You know what's funny? We've gone an hour and 2 minutes. But anyways, thanks for listening to this rant. Thanks. I really hope someone got something out of it. I really hope that
I hope my life or his life,
I'm sure
possibly relate or
let's show Matt some love. I mean, he sat through this and he had to listen to me bitch and talk.
I really didn't know what this was going to be or whatever. I mean, you just said you wanted to get together and talk about
this is perfect,
real
man.
life.
I feel it was good. That's my personal opinion. I think it was a good conversation, and I feel
life in general is all about like the choices we make, right? Like,
yeah. I asked what I wanted to ask, so I'm good. And you answered it.
I love it.
And if you're happy, then I'm happy. But yeah,
I'd be more than willing to come on again in the future and
for sure. Talk like this. Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Just chill out, talk.
Just a subject and just talk about it. Fuck yeah. That's what the podcast is all about, y'all. Leave some comments, conversate back if you want to. And before I get off of this camera, if you see, there's brand out right now. I have my hoodies out right now, which is Me Life Smiley, and my t-shirts, which is positive over negative. I will put my Facebook link in the description. That's the only thing I have right now, or I'll put my email, kevinjamesharper555@gmail.com. You can email me there with your whatever you like, with your order details, as I'm trying to say, because I'm trying to get my website. So go to the description down below, go to Facebook, and go find out more information about Me Life. And thank you for listening, and try to keep that head up. Much love to everybody. Peace out. And show love. Peace out. Show love. Peace out.
We timed that great, actually. Peace out at the same time. I love it.